Hello, we will be sharing with you some practical tips for parents in supporting of their children development and growth. Today you'll hear from a community perspective, myself, a mother of two, and a community worker, Deng, Tebir, and Angelo, a community leader. If you would like to reach out for any of the speakers, please see the link and enjoy. My name is Suzie Bol. I work with CMY, Community Support Group, and I'm going to talk to you today about how to support our children at school with their study. It's one of the important things as parents. The first thing on how to support our children first, set a timer. So sleep is very important. So if we set a routine with our children to prepare them for the big day at school tomorrow, I think that's an important thing. Also, doing homework with our children, sitting down, setting up a time after school. And one of the crucial that I feel that we should focus more on is breakfast, ensuring that our children have a nice breakfast. For me, I have a 1-year-old that goes to school, and I find him in the day, he doesn't eat properly. He brings his lunch back. So I focus more on breakfast just to make sure that he's nice and full. And then he goes to school because it's good for his learning. Another thing that we need to work on is, because of this pandemic, we've been working with our children doing really well, doing homeschooling, being turned from parents to teachers. We have done that, well done, and now our kids are starting school. So it's important that to allow them to transition from mummy's class to teacher's class. So ensure that they're ready, that we go back to our old routine where they sleep on time, like 8 o'clock, and wake up at 7 o'clock, get them ready, breakfast, everything, and take them to school. Communicate with school, look out for our school newsline. They're very important. They'll tell us the timing because there's still social distancing, so there's timing to make sure that our kids are nice on time at school. Another thing that I'm finding with the family that I work with is parenting in a new culture. It's very difficult when our old culture is different, where we take our kids to school and that's the end of it. The teachers handle everything. But now, as parents, we wanted to be more involved in our children's learning. So it's very difficult, but there's a lot of services that can help you. You can reach out, CSG Community Group. There's a lot of people there that can help you. Also, teachers, call the school, be familiar with the school. They will help you, guide you through on how to help bring up a productive human being in the community. How to reach out for those services from school. My information will be linked in this video. You can contact me. I can direct you to services. Council too, they have a really good services that can support you, that can support us as parents to do the best for our kids. Another important thing that I feel we should emphasize in it as parents is build a healthy relationship with our children, build their confidence. So ask them questions. Ask them how their day is at school. Those questions will bring up things that are maybe your child is being bullied. You can find out what's going on through your children. So build a relationship, open relationship, allow your children to trust you to come and tell you everything that's happening. I feel that's very important. And another thing that is very important is also building a relationship with the school. Get to know your child's school teacher. It's very important because if there's anything that's happening in the school, your child is not performing really well, they can tell you. Parents teachers meeting. Please attend those ones because that's where you will know how's your child performing. If your child is falling behind, you can find a way, you can work with teachers to find a way to bring that child up. What's going on? Maybe see there's something going on in the house that is affecting your child from performing. You can address those issues. If you're having problem or issue building that relationship with the school, there's other services around outside, like CSG. We work a lot with schools, and we can step in. If it's a language barrier, we can step in and we can support you through that. We find a lot of schools wants to help the relationship with parents, so we can reach out and try to see what's going on and sort that out. So there's a lot of service. You're not alone. There's a lot of services out there. Contact them. Contact me. Contact the council. They can direct you to the people that speak your language and that could help you build that trusting relationship with the school. During this pandemic, parents have been thrown to be teachers, so there's a lot of parents that are struggling to cater for children with different needs in the house. Some parents have up to 7 children, so how do you cater that? So they reach out ask us how can we help them. So some of them we did a Zoom meeting where we sat down and we explained the planning on how you can cater, maybe divide the two, the young one and then the independent one, get them to do other things, and then while you work on the little one, and then change around. If it's so hard, especially for single parents, we call the school and we say, this is what's happening. Can you get some of these children back to school? And the school, they seem to be really nice and they take those children back to school. So yeah, there's a way, there's always a way. I hope you have taken a few information from what I said, and I hope it can help you. And if you're still struggling, you can reach out, like I said again, to me or council, and I can find a way to support you and your family.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Deng Tebir. I'm the Community Engagement Officer out at Staunton College and Melton West. Today I'm going to be informing you guys from a school's perspective about what you guys can do to support your child with their education. So the first topic I want to talk to you guys about is supporting your child with their studies. The main thing that parents don't do is contact the school, which is something that's very vital in terms of you getting to know what your child is up to and how they're doing in classes. I know a lot of kids will always tell their parents that they're going okay, but truth of the matter is they're just telling you what you want to hear. So just know that you can reach out to the school and ask to speak with certain teachers. How's my child doing in maths? How are they doing in English? How are they doing in science? And get feedback from the teacher's perspective rather than your own kid, Also, I guess a lot of the times the school doesn't have the direct contact of parents. So if you guys could also just update your personal information with your emails, with your mobile number, and just place it onto the school's system so that way we know who to contact and you can go directly there. So the next topic I want to talk to you guys about is supporting your child transitioning back to school. So during remote learning, you should have been keeping up to date as to how the child was going. I know some of the students weren't really engaging as much online, which was an issue. I know that a lot of them didn't have laptops or even internet access. But the thing is, we were available to provide that types of support if you communicate. So just communicating with us, and so we're able to provide you with laptops, or if it's Wi-Fi access, and just things that are necessary for the child in order for them to keep up to date. You can reach out to the school if you need support with things like this. There needs to be more relationship built, so it's not always about, oh, your child got into trouble. So it just needs to be an open dialogue between teachers and also parents. Before we started working there were some parents that we had little contact with between the school and the parents. Some of them never attended parent-teachers interviews and things like that. And I understand there's also cultural differences and also language barriers. I think the language barrier is the main thing, which is why parents don't really engage with the school. But when there's people like myself, I speak Arabic, I can also understand Dinka, and so once that communication is there, it just makes things a lot more easier. The next topic I want to talk to you guys about is parenting in a new culture. Now this is a very difficult one because this is something that we both are trying to understand from a parent's perspective and also from a kid's perspective, because we are in a westernized world, and so we're trying to adapt as to what's going on in this country. So there's a lot of programs and services out there that provide that's designed for this specific cause. So there's a program that's called Parenting in a New Culture that's run by Spectrum Migrant Resources, and they also run Tuning Into Teens. So I've attended both of those sessions. You see how much the parents are struggling. They need guidance of things like the law system, schooling system, and even taking little things for granted, things such as, primary school homework or things like that, just because some of the parents can't read or write in English. And so, you're expecting a primary school student who doesn't have that sort of support back home in order to complete, the work, knowing that there's people out there that you can reach out to, people like myself, even possibly like local churches, they'll have someone, even family members that have been here for longer than you have. Just know that there's always someone out there that's able to support you with what you need. If it's housing situations, if it's family issues, just any and everything, there's always people out there. The next topic I want to talk to you guys about is how to reach out for support and also what services are out there for you guys. So like I mentioned before, schools, every year level has coordinators, so you can reach out to them. There's also the well-being team, and there's also ill coordinators to have an idea of how your child is going. And just know that translators are also available. The Melton City Council's Interfaith and also Intercultural Network is also provided. They're also really great. They've helped us out a lot over the years. And also VICSEC. which is a New Futures program that helps give out scholarship to students with an aim to keep them engaged in school. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is building a good relationship between yourself and also your child. I know that it's quite difficult because, like I mentioned before, everyone's just adapting to the new culture of things. It's just such a big difference between our cultural aspect and also the new westernized world. So kids are still learning as to who they are. It might be a bit lost at the moment. You know, kids are just following new trends and all these other things. But these are things that are going to take time between both parents and kids, you know, just understanding and also accepting. But most importantly, what needs to be still in place is respect. So it has to be mutual respect between both. You know, I know that parents are always telling kids what to do, this and that, what's right and wrong. And of course, they do know it. But at the same time, also, it is a new world out there. And so we're also just trying to adapt and understand things and figuring things out on both of our ends. So as long as we have those open dialogues between our community leaders, our parents and the students, you know, I feel like there's such a big difference between the gap years of just 5 years. You know, between someone that's 15 and between someone that's 20, there's like a big difference. There's like a big difference there already. You wonder as to why is that? Maybe it's social media influences. Maybe it's the way people are going about things. A lot of these kids are idolizing the wrong things. What's cool nowadays is what everyone wants to do nowadays. People want reputations for themselves. I cannot speak for them at all. I can speak for the people of my generation. I can speak for the people that I grew up with. I'm a bit scared for these new kids. You know, I want the best for them. I want them to know that it's not cool getting yourself into trouble. It's not something you want to do in the future. You don't want to get yourself involved with the law. You don't want to put yourself out there like that, you know. You might have the instant gratification type of thing when you try to be hard, or when you go to a store and you steal something. Like, that's just for the moment. But understand there's like consequences to all these things that you do. So in the future, these things are gonna haunt you, and you don't want that. Most of the times, people are not gonna listen to you, you know. People, like even me, just preaching this, people are not gonna listen to me. But it's just good to know that it's out there, and we can have that sorts of conversations. And sometimes just know who your friends are, know who your circle is. But just understand there's also consequences to these things, and just know that it doesn't just hurt you. It also hurts your family, it hurts your community, and it hurts the people that care for you the most. And also just know that there's open conversations with people like this in the schools. You know, people like myself are cultural engagement officers or multicultural aid officers. Just have those types of conversations. We know what's wrong, we know what's right, but we have to come in together and really discuss things properly. You know, so that way in the future we don't have incidents, unfortunate incidents, which do happen far too often in Melbourne alone. You might not get along with the well-being team in the school. You might not get along with certain teachers or anyone, but just have that someone you're able to get in touch with, to reach out to them. And it might not even be in schools. It might just be outside of schools. Just know that there are services and people out there that can support you with whatever it is you need. If you're afraid for your life, you know, things like that need to be spoken about. If you're scared about what's going on in your household, if you're scared of what's going on with your friendship, or even in the future about, you know, all the things that you've done in the past that you feel like might come back to haunt you, just know that there's people out there you can get in touch with instead of just bottling everything in. You know, even myself, I have to admit, like, I have my own faults, and I have my own thoughts, and I have my own, you know, I've done my own mistakes, but I've learned from them. It happens all through communication. It happens all through open dialogue. So if you feel like you have no one, feel free to reach out to myself. Feel free to reach out to anyone that you trust. And so that way they can guide you with what types of support you need. Just reach out. Just reach out, you know, and pick up school's contact as well. When school contacts you, pick them up. It just needs to be more communication. And I'm well aware that a lot of the schools don't have people like myself in the school. And so I urge all the other schools to please try and hire more community engagement officers in your school, because I promise you this is very beneficial for the parents of ill backgrounds. I want more things to be chat about between kids and also the youth leaders and leaders out there. So that way, if kids are saying that they want a music program happening, or if they want some sort of sport program happening, or, you know, just have those conversations so that way we can see what we can do in the future. You know, even if it's building a facility that's run by us and for us specifically. You know, imagine how cool it would be for us to just teach a lot of these kids the entertainment side of things, because I know a lot of kids would want to do directing, whether it's visual directing or editing videos, or you know, writing music, writing songs. You know, more programs like this need to be out there. It steers away kids from that negative sides of things. You know, when they don't have much things to go to, when they don't have a lot of platforms that they can express themselves, like in the entertainment side or whatever it is, like they tend to steer towards the more negative sides of things, you know? So once again, my name is Deng Tebir. Thank you guys so much for watching us. I hope you've learned a lot from this. I hope you've gained something from this. Once again, just know that there are services out there that can support you with what you need. Don't be afraid to reach out. Feel free to reach out to myself. I'm on Facebook as Deng Tebir. I think I put myself as Tebir Deng. Doesn't matter. Just write those up. You'll find me. And I can even support you guys with what you need. So we can try and search around and find the right services for you.
My name is Angelo. I am talking today about community parenting. I am a chairman of the Warab community. I am helping a lot of people to settle their settlers in this country. I am also African mediator. For when any family have issues, they call it one side, as a woman or a man, a husband, call me to take one side, who is call me further, I am going to mediate to them. If it is hard to be solved, then I will let police know to police ball. Sometimes horrible, some physically fighting in front of you sometimes, but we respect each other and we will come down. To me, I am elder community, more experience. So when we came here, we found ourselves, and then also we are integrated to other communities. We have some Aussie people, our friends, sometimes during Christmas time, during long, we happy Australian, lot of holidays, so we visiting each other. This year been slowed down, no activities. We just check ourselves by telephone. And also, we have our small group in Melton called the Christian dinner group. We have go out with our children, with our family, with our friends. We invited some friends, different suburbs, to join us. We have a dinner. We pray to let this horrible disease go away. Then we can go have a fun. We have a lot of different type of issues. Sometimes starting young, sometimes mom and dad. We have to looking all both sides. Who is close friend? Sometimes when you get very sad or very angry, very lose control, so only somebody who come, your best friend, when they come and they say to you, calm down, maybe he listen.